There's nothing wrong with feeling more upbeat. Let's say you had a drink, you're feeling a bit more euphoric, so you start going over things that you're working on and you get really excited. But then you wake up the next day and actually do it. There's nothing wrong with that. So the other night I was looking at some pictures from a few years back, maybe 5 years ago when I was back in university, and it's very interesting to see a lot of people that you used to be friends with or that I used to know. And I was looking through all of these pictures and it was very, very nostalgic. But what question I had in mind was, where are those guys right now? What are they doing? What are they up to? So I started remembering different conversations that we would have in the past, especially since in uni you party a lot. So you know those late night conversations where you're having a drink or you're standing outside and you're talking like everything's gonna be amazing, we're all on the right track, everything's going great, and sharing all kinds of aspirations with each other. So pretty much I ended up going down memory lane where I looked at different profiles of these people. I was able to find them on social media. I still have a lot of them in my contacts. And this made me remember something very, very annoying. So, one thing that would always happen is whenever you have these nights where you're all drinking together and you're all talking of all the biggest game, you're all talking shit, it is just that. It's all shit talking. And not the kind where you're talking bad about something. It's the kind where you're talking good about what's going to happen in your life, but that never happens. You don't actually do anything about it. That's the worst part. So I started remembering these conversations I used to have. We would talk about how we're going to work out, how we're going to put on 5, 10 kilos of muscle. We're going to look lean, shredded. And the next day, when I continued on my journey and I was back in the gym like I did the day before, I would also follow up with those people that I was having the conversation the prior night and ask them, so you're at the gym today, when are you going to the gym? What are you up to? And those guys would just give some kind of generic excuse. It would always be back to, nah man, I can't go today, I was kind of hungover, or I have too much schoolwork to do. Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. You're gonna go tomorrow? Yeah, of course, bro. Of course I'm going tomorrow. Okay, cool. Sounds good. Just checking. Holding each other accountable, right? And this exact same pattern would continue day after day, week after week, until I started becoming less and less interested in following up with those guys. And of course, still every now and then when we go out, we party, we have fun, the same exact conversations come up. We're gonna be this, we're gonna be that, we're gonna do XYZ, we're gonna be amazing. And what went from a fun conversation to have, because of course when you're drinking you feel this euphoria where you suddenly think everything's going right in your life. Which isn't a bad thing to think. It's only bad if you don't follow through. And so instead, all these conversations I started to hate. I despise those conversations. You could never find me engaged in those. As soon as some drunk guy starts talking all this game, I leave. Because it's gonna be the exact same thing. Talking about all the potential, and the next day and the next week doing nothing about it. What the fuck is the point of that? To me, that just became disgusting. I started losing respect for all of those people. I get it, we're young, we're partying, most people do that, we don't really know what we're doing. But why bother telling the world, telling everybody around you what you're gonna do, and just not do it? Reserve it for some arbitrary later time that never actually ends up happening. This could be anywhere from large goals and aspirations to small incremental wins. I mean, even speaking to a guy who said, I'm getting a job and I'm gonna buy a car in the next 2 months. This is the car I want. And it's nothing crazy, but the point is, even for a university student, having a car that you bought yourself and going to work while you're also studying, that's not bad. I'll follow up with them and ask them how's the new job they found, what are they doing now, did they start saving money for their new car that they wanted? And it's almost like I'm talking to a different person. They look at me like, what? Oh no, no, everything changed. No, no, I'm not getting a job right now. Why? What happened? No, it's just not a good time. Okay, what about the car you wanted? yeah, no, seed's gonna be very expensive and like I have to save and it's gonna take way longer. I'm just gonna put that on hold for now. Hmm, okay. And I'm not hating on the individual. I'm just saying that when I told people my goals, I'm gonna get a higher paying job, I'm gonna switch my car, whatever that I set out to do, I ended up following through. For example, I used to work at Subway where you make sandwiches, and when I realized that I don't have to be stuck with this job even though I'm in university, I ended up switching into construction. It's small things like this that add to large progress over time. But the point is, those kind of guys always make excuse after excuse. Even though I would still hang out with them on social events, I would no longer discuss anything of relevance with them. I wouldn't hold conversations. I was so uninterested because what's the value in me sharing what I'm going to do, them getting inspired, and then also talking shit about all the things they're going to accomplish and not doing it. It's so meaningless. It's almost like a energy drain. So you might think, okay, what's your point then? Some people like talking about their goals, some people don't. Some people don't do anything about it. My point is the least you could do for yourself is not talk about your goals to others in that way. You hear some contradicting advice all the time. Some people tell you share your goals with everyone, that way you feel accountable to it because now that you've told everyone, you have to do it. On the other hand, there are people saying don't tell anyone, disappear, go ghost mode, don't talk about it, and then just show up one day. Or let people notice, let your results speak for you. So what's the right way? First, you need to evaluate yourself and understand what kind of person are you. Based on your past track record of telling people what you want to do, did you actually follow through? Because if you didn't, I guarantee you those people respect you less. Or when you talk shit, they don't take it seriously. They know you're just talking shit. There's some person watching me through their window. Not that they can really see inside. My windows are hella tinted. Whatever. So if you've analyzed yourself and realized you're that type of person, stop doing that. Stop telling everybody your goals and not following through. Maybe what's going to work better for you is to shut your mouth, be quiet about your goals, don't say anything, and then just come out on top. Because on the other hand, if you're a person who likes to boast and talk all this game, imagine suppressing that, keeping all of that in, and using that to drive you to accomplish your goals faster so that then you can show everyone and then go ahead and talk all that game with only one difference. It's now justified. You deserve to. If you've achieved what you set out to achieve, you deserve to talk all the shit you want about it. Not before. So all of these drunk conversations are completely pointless. It disgusts me to be around the people who talk that shit. I immediately remove myself from that. There's nothing wrong with feeling more upbeat. Let's say you had a drink, you're feeling a bit more euphoric, so you start going over things that you're working on and you get really excited. But then you wake up the next day and actually do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, you don't want to be going crazy, partying and drinking, leave all that shit in the past. But the bottom line is you wake up the next day and still get everything done that you need to get done. I know I'm ranting, but this is so important because so many guys get this backwards. They get this so fucked up. They end up destroying their reputation because of the way they talk and then not do anything. They think everybody forgets what happened the last night. They think everything you said just went out the window. But the serious people who actually heard you expect you to follow up and do what you said. Because that's how you build strong, like-minded networks. And so what ended up happening is all those people that I used to go out with, party with in uni, they're all still the exact same. That's so crazy to me. I'd be shitting myself if I was in the exact same position that I was in back in university. Just imagine those 20-year-olds who are now 25, 26, 27, they're still acting like those uni students. trying to grab a drink every possible moment, going out every single weekend, just completely wasting their life away. And the only difference is they're now worse off. They're not even in the same position. A lot of them are worse because as you're getting older and continuing these habits, they spend your body. Their metabolism has decreased, which means their body now carries more fat. So they look more out of shape. And because the metabolism is lower and the body keeps having to process all that garbage, alcohol, sugar, junk food, so there's not even an outlet for it. They don't work out. The body is now having trouble keeping up and processing all of that. And you can see it on their face. They have more acne. It's like they're back to being a teenager, but having acne from hormonal imbalance is way different than having acne because your lifestyle is shit. In your late 20s, early 30s, that's just embarrassing. That's not even going into what they're doing for their careers. The point is, all those people talked shit, they got nothing done, and they still behave like those adult boys, which is disgusting. And maybe that kind of lifestyle got them all those girls back in university, but that no longer works. You're in the real world now. This is real life. Because when you're out with your girl, in the shape you are, looking all fucked up, your girl is looking over at me. She watches me drive by. She watches me walk by. Who I'm with. That's what happens. I simultaneously feel bad for you because your girl is looking over at other men because she wishes you were like that. But at the same time, I feel zero remorse. Because while I spent the time following through on what I said I was gonna do, you spent your time fucking around. So you deserve to be in the position you're in. And this is not gonna last forever. If you haven't got married yet, and your girl's not a complete degenerate, like you are, she's gonna leave you. Just watch. She's already on her way out. She's probably talking to other men as we speak, who are better than you. Because you still haven't grown up from your uni life, from your high school party life. Get all that shit out of your system as fast as possible. I'll tell you more. I have gone through that phase of heavy partying, drinking, alcohol, and discovering all those things by the time I was 18 years old. That's right. We're not gonna get into how that was possible. Be creative. But the point is, by the time I went into uni, that shit was already out of my system. I was a lot more serious on working on myself and progressing and getting better and building something than my peers. And sure, of course, I'd still go out here and there. I'll join those social meetings. I'll join a party every now and then. But not every single week. Not multiple times a week. That was all in the past. While a lot of people were only getting started. The earlier you get this out of your system, the better it is for you. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm the kind of person that you can't persuade me not to do it if I don't see a valid reason for why not. You can't just tell me it's bad for you. I'm the kind of person who needs to experience it and feel the effects of it. Feel both the good and the bad, the pros and the cons. And then I'll draw my own conclusions from that. And if that's also the way you think, then just do yourself a favor and get this over with fast so you can move on to greater things. So guys, don't get stuck in the past. The world moves on. You don't want to be lagging behind. It's gonna catch up with you one day. And I'm at a point in my life where I'm seeing a lot of my peers, life catch up with them. They're only now starting to feel the pain of not doing the right things before. It catches up with you much later, but it always does. So don't fuck this up. Catch you guys in the next one.